the Madonna party you played at, and she came up and said something, and you basically told her to F off.
Oh, yeah, I mean, listen.
To Madonna's face.
That, quite a few times.
Fat Tony, welcome to Hard Done. I've been looking forward to chatting to you.
Thank you, Toby.
First of all, congratulations on the wedding.
Yeah.
You and Stavros, you've been not married, what, 3 weeks now?
Yeah, it's
Is
3
it all
weeks.
good? Are you happy?
Well,
No
I
rows?
keep threatening divorce every day, but it's not going to happen. No, you know what? It's a remarkable thing to say, literally refer to him as my husband.
I mean, because everyone was talking about the guest list.
What we invited our friends, and I just happen to have friends that do quite well, big jobs, you know, or they're quite well known. It wasn't a matter of like, okay, he's relevant, he's not. None of that.
No.
We just invited the people that were full of love and that we wanted to be at our wedding.
Who was the worst behaved at the wedding? I'd imagine Gemma Collins wouldn't behave for very long, would she?
No, she was amazing.
Was she all right there? Yeah, she's a laugh,
you
isn't
know,
she? She's
about-
come in here before.
The thing about Gemma is she's Gemma.
Yeah.
And there's something really, really like magical about Gemma because she's not what you think she's going to be, and she's a very loyal and loving person, and she was great.
And Boy George, well, he was quite involved in the wedding, wasn't he?
Well, he was the best man. He was one of my best men, and then I thought, well, he's going to be there. Let's get him to be the vicar, as such. So we had him do that, and that was pretty amazing.
Amazing.
On the Tuesday after, he rang me. He's like, oh my God, I just got to tell you, it was better than I ever thought it was going to be. And I was like, well, what did you think it was going to be? And he was like, no, I knew it was going to be amazing, but I didn't realise how amazing it was going to be. Because no one really did. I didn't tell anyone really what was going on.
What about the honeymoon?
We're going to go away in January.
Okay.
Well,
you got too busy. You're too busy. And we'll come to that because, you know, you're playing Ibiza and all that. So I want to talk a lot about that. And obviously the EP is out, Hard Camp.
Yeah.
This collaboration as well with KDA, which is a throwback for you, isn't it? That's kind of... Tell me how that came about. When did you decide to do that?
It got to the point where I hadn't been in the studio for ages and for a very long time. And because I play music and I've always played music, obviously, you know, for me being locked in the studio, I always thought was going to be the most tedious, boring thing because the last time I did it, I hated it. And it just seemed the right thing to do in the right time. So me and him got it together and started working together. We come up with this EP.
Now, I want to talk about the book very quickly because I loved reading this. I don't take requests. I don't. I mean, the name straight away, I know. And anyone that's a DJ doesn't like taking requests. But, I mean, there's probably a lot behind that. But when I read the book, I thought, is that a nod to the Madonna party you played at? And she came up and said something, and you basically told her to F off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen.
To Madonna's face.
That, quite a few times, but...
But it was in there.
The thing is, the reason it's called I Don't Take Requests is, yes, because of the DJing, obviously, but also I've never taken requests. If you told me to do something or you asked me to do something,
You're not going to do it.
I'd never done it.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's like goes back to that. You can't leave the table till you've eaten your broccoli. Try and make me eat the broccoli.
You've got to eat your greens, Tone.
That's it. You know what I mean?
You know, you got to eat. But that particular part of your life when you played at loads of celebrity parties, but the Madonna one I thought was quite something. Yeah. I mean, do you still talk after that?
I went on to have a relationship with her brother for a while after that. You know, I've seen her quite a few times, obviously, over the years. I saw her quite recently and said hello and left it at that.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need to do, you know?
I get you. And the King's Road, that was a big part of this book, isn't it? Because that was a big part of your life. And what I love is the way you talk about, because I spent a lot of time in the King's Road when I was back in the day. And you talk about it as like the social media of the time.
Well, it was. It was
like
Facebook. That. It was literally, you know... it's obviously Instagram now because anyone who's on Facebook needs to stay on Facebook these days. But the thing about it at that point in time, it was pre-social media. And so to be seen, you had to go and do something and you had to actually be in the right place at the right time. And the King's Road was one of those places.
And then people would talk about you and
they would take photos of you and they, you know, you would suddenly get this. It created a lot of platforms for a lot of people.
And then, of course, all the clubs in that you play back then, and we'll come to Ibiza now in just a bit, but obviously the Limelight, and you'd look at these
I just got married in the Limelight. That's where I got married.
Oh, was it in the Light, was it?
Mm-hmm. We chose that building because of the magic of that building at the time.
And obviously the WAG Club And these are names of clubs that I knew as I was growing up, and you'd hear about because they were the absolute hubs, weren't they? I mean, there was George. Is that where you first met George Michael? Was it? Was that
kind of around that time. George used to come to the WAG every weekend. I met George at the Beetroot actually originally.
Right.
But they all see the thing about the WAG Club was London clubbing was 5 streets. That was the West End, so everyone knew each other because you weren't in a club looking at everyone else in another club on your phone.
Right. Yes, exactly.
When you were there, you were in the moment.
That whole scene, obviously Boy George, who's is a really good friend of yours, was it just like a small group of you that kind of ran...
Well, you know what it was?
The clubs in the towns.
Because it was like, there was no straight and gay divide. You had gay clubs, which was Heaven and places like that, which the community needed. And then you had much more underground little gay bars and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, at that point in time, it wasn't like it is today. Well, it's kind of going back that way. But to be LGBT at that point in time was much more underground thing. It wasn't like as open as it is today. So, the clubs and stuff like that were much more mixed.
Yeah.
So there wasn't this like, oh, you've got to go to a gay club. Oh, we only go to gay bars. There was no gay bars in Soho. There were no gay bars. The first gay bar that opened was the Village.
Seems mad, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then Compton's was the first pub, and on Old Compton Street, and that's what changed. So it was much more about. No one really cared what sexuality you were, as long as you were fun.
We just did Heart Live in Ibiza, so we're at Cafe Mambo. And
Mambo's amazing, isn't it?
Mambo's, it's iconic. Some friends of mine went to see you at Glitterbox on Sunday last week and said it was absolutely brilliant. You were brilliant. And you were on at 3 o'clock, right?
4 a.m. 4 till 6. Yeah.
Is that the time slot you like?
It changes.
The headline sort of last slot, or?
For me, I prefer a middle of the night slot. I liked it like a 2 till 4. And
Why is that?
I'm happy with that because I can go home and sleep.
Right,
I'm sober, but also when you get somewhere and you walk in, because I don't like to be there for hours before in a club. I like to get there, go on and do my job because that's what I'm there for.
Yeah.
I'm not there partying. I'm there working.
No.
And that's when you cross that line. For me, I go. I don't need the anxiety of having to talk to 400 people before I go on and being pulled around. For me, I like to go in, go on, do my job to the best of my ability and then leave.
So does it feel like work? You have to go from one mode into the other. As soon as you get in the DJ box, do you go into autopilot then? Do you sort of...
Well, my job is to read that energy. As you know, as a DJ, I read the energy off the dance floor and I relay that energy back. That's quite exhausting at times.
They're there for you, aren't they? It's not like, you've got to carry on that hype. You haven't, have you? Because people have stayed, or they'd have gone after the choir.
I think
they're there for you.
Yeah, I think the majority of people, they are there for you, but I'm the only one who in the room thinks that they're not. So that's my job to make them want to be there for me.
Yeah, but that's Stockholm syndrome, isn't it? I mean,
that is
a little bit.
But that's what keeps me on my toes.
Really? Do you still feel an element of that you don't deserve to be there?
Always.
Well, talk to me about that.
It's just I think that if I'm flying anywhere and I'm at the front end of the plane instead of down the back by the bogs like I used to be, I will sit on that plane and I think, oh God, they're all going to hate me when I get there. Blah blah blah. I could be at home and I'm already like this weekend I'm in Palma. I'm already, oh God, I've got to go to Heathrow, planning that whole thing. Not like, oh my God, I can't wait to get to Palma.
Oh really? Well, that's all just a drama, is it for you? It's a bit of a nightmare. You'd rather not have that.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I love getting on the plane and going.
No.
But you probably go on a lot more planes than me.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I probably do.
Yeah, but that's interesting that you because I mean, reading the book, you've been through a lot of booze, a lot of drugs, a lot of challenges in your childhood, and then you got to what feels like a happy place now, where you met the guy of your dreams, which is wonderful. You're playing all these big clubs. You're back in the room, basically. Why wouldn't you feel like you deserve to be there? You've proved yourself.
Listen, I love what I do more than anything in the world. People go, do you not get bored of your job? And I'm no. Why would I get bored? My life changes every week, and people always ask that one question: what's the best part of you? What's the favourite club you play at?
Right.
I don't have one. It changes every time.
Well, I won't ask you that question then.
No, because I always tell people it's not happened yet. Because
you're still looking for the best set.
Well, I'm not looking. It's just I'm really grateful of where I'm at. So whatever job I'm doing, I will embrace that job and embrace that crowd. I'm doing Glastonbury, Greenpeace stage.
Amazing.
To how many thousands of people.
And you'll just take that as that gig on that day and deliver whatever you feel they want.
But I'm already cancelling Glastonbury because I don't want to walk through the crowd. I'm already, how long's that walk? Doing all of these
What is that
things.
like an anxiety?
Well, you know what it is I set myself up for it in the sense that there's that still little niggling in your voice in the back of my head of like, they're going to hate what you do. So I will catastrophize it before I get there.
Yes.
And then when I get there, I had the best set ever and I had the best time.
I was going to ask you what you're going to do next, but that's probably a silly question for you, isn't it? Because maybe you don't know.
I'm doing music.
Well, obviously all the gigs
writing a new book.
What, is it going to be an add-on to this one or to a completely different book?
No. So, I don't want to go down the book 2
There's no wedding pictures in this, and we want those. We want an add-on.
Book 2 is going to be a book about how you find who you really are.
Well, I'm so happy for you, and it's so nice to talk to you about all that.
Oh, thank you.
I could carry on just talking forever, to be honest with you. Fat Tony, thank you so much. It's been so lovely to chat to you.
Man.
Thank you.
This is